And the go live button has been pushed. Guys, welcome back. We took a quick 30-minute break and we are back for some more training. I'm going to apologize. Unfortunately, there's some sort of issue with my video feed, which is super unfortunate that it's not working because I have a video to show you, but Lay came up with a suggestion to help out with this. So this training tonight, guys, probably going to be maybe about 30 minutes, maybe a tad longer, just something to think about, put in your mind that you guys can put in your potential clients' minds to help it make it easier for you to close a deal. Okay. This is something that I say to every single one of my potential clients. I usually say this at the discovery meeting, and I also reiterate it at the sales meeting. Okay. And I flat out tell them, listen, the accuracy, consistency, and scale at which we can provide information to a targeted audience will greatly impact the success of your business in every aspect. It doesn't matter if you're trying to increase your sales or hire employees or attract investors or get people to donate to your charitable nonprofit or train your employees or whatever it is. The accuracy at which we create video or information in a video and give it to the right audience on a consistent basis at the appropriate scale is going to positively impact your business. Okay. Now, before we get into that, I've got a question for you guys. And I'm going to history nerd out a little bit here because I used to be a bit of a history buff and history nerd. Okay. During the Civil War, do you guys know what Abraham Lincoln had and what he used that gave him the advantage that he needed to win the Civil War? And you can unmute if you know the answer. Nobody?
I barely know my own Canadian history, so.
All right, I'll give you a pass.
My best guess is he just had confidence.
Well, he was definitely a confident guy, 100%. But there was probably a reason that he had some confidence, and this reason is he had the telegraph. He had the telegraph and he had Morse code, which was cutting edge technology at the time of the Civil War. And he was able to accurately, consistently, and at the proper scale distribute information in a way that the Confederate Army was not able to do so. And because Abraham Lincoln was able to do that, he was able to be 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of the Confederate Army. Okay. The distribution of information is critical to making decisions. People cannot make decisions without information. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life. If you're driving down the road and you need to make a decision as to where to exit the highway, you need a sign to tell you where the exit is at. You need information to be able to do that. Right? If you're at the grocery store and you're looking for stuff to make dinner, you need information to tell you what you need in your recipe to cook your dinner. It doesn't matter. Every decision that is ever made, you need information. Okay. Now, if you look at the root of all problems, every pain point that a business owner ever faces, what's missing or what's creating that pain point is a lack of action on somebody else's part. Okay. So when I talk to my customers and I say, what's the priority? If you could snap your fingers right now and something would change or people would start doing stuff, what would that be? And they say, you know what, David, we need to get more sales. We're not making enough sales. Well, the action is, or the lack of action is that people need to purchase that product or service. In order for them to purchase that product or service, they need information. Okay. So before I go too far down that path, I do want to play the video of Abraham Lincoln. So Dom? No, maybe not. Who's got? I'm gonna allow for somebody to share their screen. Anybody have access to YouTube on their computer? Nobody? Okay, no worries. Basically what it's saying is that Abraham Lincoln had the telegraph. He used it. It's not the opposition and the Confederate Army didn't have it, but they didn't use it at the proper scale and utilize its potential. So when we're talking to customers and potential customers, why is this important? Well, a lot of our customers are kind of doing business the way grandpa used to do the business. Grandpa and grandma used to do business 50 years ago. They're not taking advantage of our ability to target people, retarget people, and do it at a huge, huge scale. Okay. So let's kind of think of on a level of one person, and we need them to do one thing. Okay. We want somebody to buy our product or service, or our client's product or service. That's the priority. Well, they need information. So what do we do as video strategists? Yes, we create videos, we tell stories. That's all well and good. We fly the drones and break out the lights and storytelling and all this good stuff. But what we're doing is we're capturing information. That information has to be shown to the correct audience. If it's not, then it's wasted, right? If somebody's trying to sell fishing equipment and we are showing the video to somebody that plays chess and doesn't fish, it's not very accurate. Okay. So we have to understand that that's the case. Now that's like basic like common sense, but you'd be surprised at where business owners are wasting their money. They're putting money into radio ads or television ads or billboards. And these radio ads are being broadcast to people that have no need to hear this information, right? Makes zero sense. There's no accuracy. So there's a waste of time and money in that type of marketing. So as video strategists, we can accurately target a target audience. We can say, we can target every angler and fisherman and fisher enthusiast in this area, and we can do it accurately. So that way that chess player is not seeing these ads and we're not wasting your money. Okay. Consistency, guys. Everybody knows that somebody needs to see something 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 times before they purchase something, right? Mark and I sell a program, obviously, and we put the information out there. I'm curious to know how many times you had to see some of our ads, or how many times somebody had to bring it up, or how many times you had to see our brand before you made that decision. Okay, so Chris, you're saying 3, 5 from Dom. What else? Just put the number up on your fingers. 4 times from Dan. 5 times from Derek. Okay, guys, consistency. If I showed you it once and that's it, then you guys would not have purchased our program. Same thing with any of your customers. Their clients need to see something over and over and over and over, and sometimes 20 times. I had somebody the other day tell me that we've been targeting them for a year. They've probably seen our ads 100 times and they finally bought. Consistency is crucial. That's where the targeting comes in. That's where the retargeting comes in. This is why we talk about this stuff. This is why when you are in a meeting with a client and you're talking about this stuff, they're going to see you as more valuable than just somebody that says, yeah, I can make the video for you. Okay. And then to the scale at which it's necessary. We have the ability, legit, to target thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people in a target audience. We have that ability. That ability did not exist 15 years ago the way that it exists today. Okay. We just are able to do it through social media, through all the analytics, through all the data, through the pixels, through the tags, everything. We're able to target a giant audience. So when you're talking to your clients, and I know I talk about this a lot, so maybe some of you are on this call already, like David's already talked about this 100 times. Yes. And I could talk to you about it like 1,000 times. Everybody needs to understand this, that when we're talking to our potential clients, that we're explaining this so that they understand that you are more than just a videographer. Okay. Accuracy, consistency, and scale. Does anybody have questions about what I'm talking about so far? What are your thoughts? Talk to me. Let's make this an open conversation. When you hear this, is this something that you would have had a conversation with your clients 2 years ago?
Not even like 6 months ago. Like I joined the club like 2 months ago, and I was just an editor and like I could shoot a bit. So not even close to this.
Not even a week ago, you're awesome, David. You constantly offer us the kind of value that helps us grow both as entrepreneurs and video strategists. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm practicing what I preach, right? I am accurately targeting you guys because you're in my Facebook group, right? I am doing it consistently because I want you guys to get the information that you need to go out and do what you need to do. And I'm doing it at the proper scale of all the people in the Facebook group and whoever's here, right? That way you guys can go out and make this happen. What else? Jaylyn, I know that you've been popping into some of our meetings recently. What are your thoughts about going into a sales meeting or a discovery meeting and saying this to a customer?
Yeah, I feel more confident, especially with you guys out steps for it. I just got to get the momentum and everything so that I can look legit as well, you know, when they start researching me on so like my website, social media platforms. So yeah, everything's been valuable so far.
Good. Okay, guys, I want to do a little bit of a role play. I think those are very valuable. If you guys are down for one, and I will be the person trying to sell some video strategy, but I need somebody to be a potential client. Let's just do Dom. Dom, since you have a potential client coming your way, that'll work with you?
Sure, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me turn this thing off here.
Dom's got cool pictures in the background. That's Jolton Joe DiMaggio in the background. I dig that. Who's on the other side? I can't quite see that. Is it the Mick?
You already said that's Derek Jeter.
That's DJ. That's my favorite ball player of all time. Dom, I like what you got in your walls, dude. Okay, cool. So Dom, let's pretend that you've reached out. You're Ryan from the car detailing shop, and you want to do some business with me. So we've already kind of gotten to the point where a discovery meeting is scheduled and a sales meeting is scheduled. And I come to you and we'll get to the meeting. Okay, Ryan, great. Thank you so much for linking up with me. I'm super excited to hear about your business. I'm super excited to see if a partnership between us could benefit you and help you get to your goals. So I went ahead and looked at some of the information that you sent me. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your business real quick?
For sure. So we do mobile detailing. We have 2 vans right now and a shop. We pride ourselves on the type of work we do, not only in the end results, but also how we deliver that through nice looking vans, nice shop, everything's clean, and it's got a premium taste to it.
Okay, excellent. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I was taking a look at your website. I'm very curious about how. Can you explain a little bit about how it works and what you do so I understand a little bit better?
Sure. So it's all about appointments. It's appointment only. So when we get an appointment scheduled, we will have the crew go out in one of the vans and we'll go to you. Or if we're doing some sort of ceramic coating, we have the shop to be able to put the cars on lifts or do whatever we need in that regard.
Okay, cool. Now, you obviously reached out to me, Ryan, and I appreciate that, but there must be something going on in your head saying there's a reason why you want to ask about video. What is the priority? What are you trying to achieve? If I create video strategy for you and I implement it, what do you want people to do when they watch the videos that we put out there?
We want to get them pumped up about the brand and also convert into lifelong customers. So we're trying to franchise this thing. We're trying to grow it to massive levels. So we're looking to not only represent ourselves better online, but to also expand and really take over the industry.
Okay, so building the brand and also building sales.
Correct.
Excellent. What have you done in the past and what are you currently doing to do that?
Not much. It's mostly word of mouth. And the past we used a marketing company that ran some Google ads, but didn't see much of an impact with that.
Okay, so you're not currently where you want to be and you think that implementing a video strategy is going to help you get there, correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you're going down the right path, Ryan. I'm going to explain a little bit about what I do so that you can feel comfortable in knowing that what we put together for you is going to be very results oriented. I want you to get the results that you want. Sounds to me like your priority is increasing your brand and increasing your sales. I will say that we are not, like, the minimum expectation that you have or you should have of me is that we can create good videos. You've already seen that on our website. That's what a videographer does. However, what my team does is we make sure that people take the actions that you want them to take. Meaning that if we put a video strategy out there, they're going to recognize your brand, schedule an appointment, and buy your service. Now, in order to do this, this is incredibly important. The accuracy, consistency, and scale at which we can deliver information to your targeted audience is greatly going to impact how successful we are in any sort of campaign that we start. Okay. So I want to explain to you what that means. There's information that you have about your business, like who you are, what you do, why you do it, why you're better than everybody else, why people should go with you. Like, there's just all this information that we need to provide to your target audience that is going to compel them to take an action. Okay. In order for us to actually be able to compel them to do that, they need to see the information. So we need to accurately target them. We need to show them content consistently. More times than not, people need to see something 5, 6, 7 times. I'm guessing that your service costs a lot of money to do. How much does one service cost to do a ceramic coating?
In the range of $2,000 to $4,000.
Okay, $2,000 to $4,000 is a pretty large purchase. However, I'm assuming that some of the vehicles that you're working on are super high-end, valuable cars. So it may be a low-end purchase for some folks. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to have to do some research on that. But what I will say is that in order for somebody to make the decision to let you do this ceramic coating to their car, they're going to need to see this a few times. So we need to have a campaign going that reminds them of how awesome you are, who you are, why you do what you do, how you do it, why you're better than everybody else. And they need to see that over and over and over again. Okay. Now, that's for one person. What I want you to know and what I want you to be aware of is that we can target an entire audience very accurately, and we can scale that. It's a numbers game, right? If we target one person, then we can only close one person. But if we target 100,000 people, then we have a greater ability to bring more people in. Are you able to, like, are you in one area geographically kind of located, or are you able to travel and do this? How does that work for your business?
We travel a little bit. I would say probably nothing out of state, maybe nothing over 2-3 hours.
Okay. So then we can target everybody within a 2 to 3 hour drive of you that has a type of vehicles that you want to work on. Are these pretty high-end vehicles, like luxury vehicles?
Yes.
Okay. So what I will say, Ryan, is that in our next meeting, I'm going to come to you with a plan, and I'm going to lay out how we are going to target everybody in this area, right? I want you to understand that. I want you to be able to see the roadmap and the strategy that we're going to implement. That way you can see how you are going to be successful in this campaign. You good with that?
Sounds great.
Okay, cool. And then there's more, we'll pause there, but I kind of just wanted you guys to get the feeling of how I implement that sentence. The accuracy, consistency, and scale at which we target an audience is greatly going to impact. In the sales meeting, same thing. Okay. Okay. So let's continue this, just the first part of the sales meeting. We'll just say we come back on Thursday. Okay. So Ryan, what's going on, man? How's your last couple of days?
It's been great. Excited to see what you have to offer.
I'll tell you what, man, I looked into your industry. I went and talked with some peers of mine, some colleagues that have done work, video work and video strategy work in this industry in other parts of the country. And I got to say, man, I'm pretty pumped up because what I've been able to figure out, what I've been able to find is a very clear path to success in a video strategy to help you get to the priorities and goals that you want to achieve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out an entire plan for you. there's going to be a minimum plan, like a minimum set of video strategy that I'm going to tell you is necessary in order to get results. If we don't implement that minimum, then you're not going to get the results that you want. And that's not necessarily a project that I want to be part of if I'm going to be wasting your time and money. I will also include a lot of other videos that are going to help us with accurately and, more importantly, consistently and at the scale that we need to get your information out there. I'm going to give you a lot of other videos that are going to help us do that, because consistency is, we need more content. People need to see different content on a regular basis. So I'm going to put these videos out here as well. That way we are accurately, consistently, and at scale targeting your target audience. So you ready to dig into this?
Perfect. I'd love to see the different options.
Okay, let's get into it. So that's it, guys. That's the kind of the role play. But do you guys see where I'm getting at? I'm not talking about camera gear. I'm not talking about lenses and lights and storyboards yet. Like that's not part of the conversation. Part of the conversation is all strategy. Here's the path. Here's my plan to get you to success. Does that all make sense?
Yep.
I see some shaking heads. Will,
Absolutely.
tell me your thoughts. Will, say us in.
Yo, yeah, sorry about that. Put me on the spot. What was the question? Sorry, Dave.
Tell me your thoughts. Like, I mean, when you go to your next sales meeting, are you going to be able to think about how am I going to approach this to tell somebody that we need to have an entire strategy, a plan, and we're going to accurately, consistently see and scale target an audience?
Yeah. I mean, as far as how I feel with that, with the strategy stuff like that, I've had great success as far as like piquing their interest. It's just something like the one most recent one I had was my plastic surgeon that I was talking to, and he's been approached with video production before, but no one's ever talked to him about it as far as the strategy side and being able to target it and retarget, and qualifying the lead before they actually meet with him. So I'm not sure if I'm answering your question right here, Dave.
Yeah, you did. I want to get a temperature check. I want to get what people are thinking when I'm, up here. I don't want to just be blabbing away and not understand what you guys are thinking when we're going through these trainings. Let me ask you this. Were you guys able to watch any of the training from when I talked about turning one-on-one conversations into leads?
Nope.
Derek, you were there. I believe Alan was there. Was anybody else there? No? Okay. Go back and watch that. And when you go back and watch that, in fact, we'll do this right now. Is everybody have their cell phone on them?
Yep.
Okay. Derek and whoever was on there knows what I'm about to do, right? Okay. So I want you guys to go to a website. The website is v1ce.co. I'm going to put it in the chat here. v1ce.co. The other one I want you to do is go to is ovu.com. Okay. I want you to actually go on to these websites right now. Go check them out. Chris, you able to get into that website? Okay. Will, you able to get in that website? Dom, you guys on that website? Okay. Go to both of them. Go to both of them real quick and click around. Click on a few buttons, stay on there, look at it. What this is a really cool business card. In fact, somebody has one of these business cards in our group and he recommended it. All it is, dude, is like you get the business card and you tap it to somebody's phone and it like automatically brings up your contact information, your website, your social media, it brings up everything. Okay. The reason that I have you guys going onto this website is that in about probably 4 or 5 minutes, you're going to start to get a ton of ads from not only Vice and Ovu, but all of their competitors as well. Okay. You're going to get, Derek, when you did this, how many ads did you get from these dudes?
I got probably 3 or 4 a day, and it lasted like probably 2 weeks. And like it just started, like it's starting to wean off now. And it was like every day. It was on my Instagram, on my Facebook. It was everywhere.
So what I will do, guys, in discovery meetings as well, is I will say, listen, I want to give you a real life example of what accuracy, consistency, and scale looks like. I want you to actually go to these websites, and I'll have them pull up their phone. I will have them go to this website. And then when I come back to the discovery meeting, I'll ask them, hey, did you happen to look at your Facebook, your Instagram over the last couple of days? And did you see ads from these guys? And they'll be like, yeah, I saw a ton of them. Well, that's accuracy, consistency, and scale in real life. That's in real life how it works. I want to do this for you, and I want your customers to experience this where they see your face, your brand, your work in front of them 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. That's what I want to do. And the strategy that I'm about to lay out for you is going to explain how we're going to make this work. Right. So in their head, they're like, okay, cool. That was pretty cool that I keep seeing these things, and that's a cool product. And I want to be able to put my face and my brand in front of my customers all the time. Okay. So I keep bringing that up. Hopefully everybody's catching that. Because it's an awesome trick to get people to see it in real life. Okay. All right. That's really all I had tonight, guys. It was just a thought that, I put this sentence into all of my discovery meetings, sales meetings. It helps to increase my credibility. Do you guys have any questions about this?
I'm going to add it to, I have a little place where I take notes, and I have the perfect question, the under what circumstances question. And I'm going to put that one right underneath it.
That's a good one, right? The perfect question. Under what circumstance? Go ahead and give the perfect question, Derek. You got it?
Under what circumstances would you consider implementing a full or partial video strategy to increase sales for your business?
Perfect. That's a perfect question. And this one as well, the accuracy, consistency, and scale in which you provide information to a target audience will greatly impact how successful you guys are. And guys, remember, this is anything. This is absolutely anything, right? If they say, David, we need more investors. Well, we need to accurately target investors. We need to remind them that you need investment and why they should invest. And we need to do that at scale. We need to make sure that enough investors are seeing this. David, we need people to apply for a job. Okay, cool. We need to target people that are looking for jobs in this field, right? We need to remind them that why you're an awesome company to work for, and we need to do this at scale. Literally any problem that a business has, somebody has to take an action to fix that problem. And that's how this fits into that. Okay. Anybody else have any questions about this training tonight?
All makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but I don't know why I never thought of this of showing a website that actually has a funnel built into it. That's genius. I'm glad you showed that. I never would have thought that to bring that into a discovery call.
Let me see if my screen is working yet. I guess it is not. Still froze. Dang. Let me see if I can share my screen. My screen. Are you guys able to see my screen or no?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yep. Can. Okay, let me bring up the internet real quick. Let's go to Google. Let's go to Facebook ads library. Let me show you how many all ads. Okay. These are all the video ads that Vice is currently running. All the video ads. So there's a good chance that now that you've been on the Vice website, you're going to see one of these. They're going to target the crap out of you. Right. And here's why I use Vice and Ovu is because one, they're really good at it. Two, I don't want to show like, how am I trying to say this? Vice and Ovu are not my clients. My clients are running ads and I don't want to waste their ad spend with somebody that's not their target audience. But if you're a business owner and you're showing other business owners the Vice and Ovu card, Vice and Ovu are probably like, thank you very much for showing us this, because now we're probably going to get more customers, right? So I'll tell my customers, this is not my customer. Vice and Ovu are not my clients, but you're a business owner, so you're in their target audience, and I want you to see how this works in real life. Guys, you're going to get slammed with Vice and Ovu and about 3 or 4 or 5 of their competitors. And when you show this to your clients, come back to the sales meeting. Ooh, oh yeah, I got blasted with these ads. I want to do this for my customer. Cool. In order to do this for your customer, we're going to need a lot of videos. So let's go ahead and set up that retainer. Make sense? Okay.
Absolutely.
Has anybody ever said to you, maybe this was discussed earlier, so my apologies. Can we do partial strategy before going full blown? I know that I think you've said in the past, in order for this to be effective, you need the entire strategy, but if somebody kind of pulls back a little bit, how do you go about kind of convincing them to that this is the only way that it's going to work?
Sure. That has happened to me. The biggest deal that I've landed, we laid out the entire strategy. They wanted to try one video just to make sure that we worked well together. And it ended up being like a 2.5-year project with, $280,000 video contract. Looking back at that, it worked out, but going forward and since then, I almost always insist on doing a video sales trifecta if the intent of the project is to increase leads and sales, which usually it almost always is. I flat out tell them, Martin, hey, listen, we can do less, but if we do less, you're not going to get the results that you want. I already know that. The research tells us that. The data shows that. All of these components work in a system, right? If I create promo videos for you and I get people's attention and I drive them to your website, but you don't have the content to keep them on their website or entice them to go further down the rabbit hole, they're just going to bounce off of your website and they're not going to come back. So you're going to pay me for money to create the promo videos. You're going to pay for the ad spend. You're going to spend the time to do all this stuff. We're going to get them to your website and they're going to bounce off and they're not going to come back. And that's going to be a waste of time. Vice versa, if I create this awesome brand message video for you and I stick it on your website, but I don't drive any traffic to your website and very few people see your website with your brand message video, it's not going to do anything. And then the last piece, obviously, is the closer video, the testimonial videos. Without those and without social proof, you're handicapped. You're cutting yourself off at the legs. You're like at the finish line and you're allowing yourself to be tackled. Those are the closer videos. If I drive traffic to your website with an awesome promo video and they see your brand message video, but they're still skeptical and they don't see that somebody else has had success with your product or service and the credibility and the trust is not completely built, they're going to bounce off your website and they're not going to come back. And that's going to be a waste of your time. So if you really want to work with me, then I want to work with you, but I'm only going to work with you if you're committed to getting results. And that's the minimum. The rest of this stuff will amplify that. It'll help us get bigger and better results. And I understand you want to start small and we can do that, but we got to start with the minimum.
Nice. Okay, that totally makes sense.
Good question. Really good question.
I also think that you stepping up and saying, like, I don't want to waste your time and money for only going to do, like, if you're reducing me to a videographer and I'm just going to shoot one video and we're just going to post it somewhere, I don't want to waste your time and money. I think there's like a big trust element to that too. where you're like, okay, cool. So this person kind of cares about me on some level if they only want to do it if they feel like there's actually going to be a result.
Yeah, 100%. And then what ends up happening is you build a reputation of being somebody that gets results, right? You don't want the reputation. Well, David created an awesome video for me, but it didn't do crap for my business, right? That's not a reputation that you want. You want people saying, dang, man, this guy or girl or lady implemented this entire strategy and it really blew up. Like it actually did what he said it was going to do. He knows what the heck he's talking about. So yeah, 100%. We got some more people in here. I see Gray, I see Adrian, Allie, Weaver. I haven't seen you in a little bit. Welcome back, Allie. Kind of ended the training, guys. This was a super short training, but I'll answer a couple more questions if you guys have questions or ideas or just anything else you want to talk about.
So I do have a question. And I ran into this issue for about the past 3 presentations. I can't say it necessarily stopped the process, but it's just a concern that I've been bumping into. So I got a post I just put in the group. I think it was last week. It was a discovery call and then like the presentation call with the client that I'm working with. And he liked what I presented, but he asked, could I add more to the project? So it was a really successful presentation, but it wasn't a trigger point then because he wants to start the process in October because he's putting together the funds for it. Now he said, it makes sense. I'm ready. I want to do that. That sounds good. I just need to start in October. But then of course that means that, deposit isn't paid that moment. How do you go about when that issue happens and then they're like, hey, could you send that to me so I can look over it? Or that kind of thing. Like if that second meeting doesn't end with a deposit paid, what do you do basically to make sure you're not like just giving your work out there for people to just see it and duplicate it, if that makes sense? Like I know myself with the presentations, if I only show them in meetings and I try to stick to that. If it's something where, they're like, hey, we want to review it again. I'm wondering what are good options with that. Like I've done it one time where somebody has seen it afterwards, but I disabled the link after 24 hours. But I just wanted to know what are some good options of like, hey, if you run into that with a second meeting, they like it, but they may need more time to get it. They're on board.
All
How
right,
do you make sure that you're not just giving your content out there?
I'm confused. So you said that they asked for more than what you had in your proposal, and they asked to send more over to you.
So initially the discovery call was amazing and the presentation was amazing. He said, this is great. He said, but honestly, I want you to take control over my marketing. That's what he said. He said, I love the stuff you're saying. This is great, but I really want this to be effective. So I want you to take like as much full control over this as you're comfortable with. Let me know a little bit more, let me know there's other things that we can offer. Basically, in a nutshell, he really liked the presentation, but he was like, he wanted it to be small. He wants it to be bigger. And so he wants to know like, hey, can you make something that covers more bases than just what you got from our discovery meeting, if that makes sense?
Yeah,
it's kind of like the inverse issue.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
So yeah, it's a fine line, right? Like you've got the fish on the hook, the fish wants more food, but you also don't want to lose the fish because they can't do it till October. It's a really weird situation to be in. I've personally never been in that situation, mainly because when I come back to the table, I'm bringing a lot of options and we have enough content to go off of to begin with. So if they're in that situation, the only thing that I would suggest to do is say, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and reevaluate. Let me go back to the drawing board. Let me come up with more option of content and distribution and ideas that I can come to you with. And figure out a structure at which I can kind of take over your marketing for you and start implementing stuff. So we need a more robust strategy, and I'm down with that. I'm excited about that. That's like giving the green light to the kid at the candy store. So yeah. let me go back and come to the table with more, and then we can go from there. That's just a very strange place to be in, though. I've never actually had that happen. But hey, if he's asking for more, come up with more ideas and go back to the table.
Yeah, and I've been putting together more. My issue really is he's like, hey, that looks great. Send, let me know when you have more stuff together for it. But then there's a request, hey, can I view what you were talking about in the last meeting? That's kind of where I'm at there. What are some, do I just say, hey, sure, check it out? It'd be active for the next 2 hours and he just screenshots it and stuff, which I'm not necessarily like, that's the end of everything, really. That's important, but it's not the end all say all. I just wanted to know, is there something, like, what would you say is the better practice out of the choices? Does that make sense? Of, hey,
So
sending it,
is your
or
concern that he's going to take that information and have somebody else implement your ideas?
so what's interesting is I like working with this person, and I do feel that they're very interested in me executing it. I guess in this sense, I'm trying to figure out, generally moving forward, if I do run into this more than one time, say for example, this person isn't trustworthy and they're like, hey, send me that, I want to think about it, or something like that. Like, they already said they're good for what we have, but add more, but they want to see what we talked about like the night before, if that makes sense.
I think it's going to be a very one-off situation, to be honest with you. I don't know that you'll run into that very much. But what I would steer the direction of the conversation to is, all right, you want more, I can come up with more. That, however, is going to take more time on my part to put the strategy together. It's going to take more discovery, more research. I'm really going to have to dig in. That obviously time is money, right? I got to get paid. I can't put all this time and effort for you guys to end on the back end and say, it's not going to work out. So if what we have on the table is a good starting spot, let's go ahead and start there. And I will come back to you and we can add more to the contract on the back end.
I like that option. Instead of just saying, hey, let me see all this. I like that option. You say, okay, if this makes sense to you, let's start here. I'll continue to build it out because it takes time to build this out properly. Okay.
Yep.
Let's go.
Good stuff.
Let's go.
Okay,
Ooh,
guys.
that helps.
I smell supper chow downstairs and I'm starving. But guys, I got to say, man, I love you guys. I love hanging out with you guys. All these trainings and being able to get together and put ideas and all this stuff has been awesome. And we're going to continue to do this so long as you guys are finding it valuable. So thumbs up if it's valuable and I'll keep on doing it. Okay, cool. All right, guys. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. We got 2 accountability sessions tomorrow. We've got one in the morning. We've got one in the evening. Accountability is incredibly important. And it honestly, if you put yourself out there for people to see and you say, hey, I'm going to get something done, and you promise that you're going to get it done, then you end up getting it done. So the folks that have been coming to our accountability sessions consistently are seeing huge results because they say they're going to do stuff and then they go and do it. And now they're getting big time results for their business. So the links are going to be up tomorrow. I've already put in the schedule. The times are on the schedule. Those happen every single Wednesday in the morning and in the evening is our accountability day. So I want to see more people in the accountability sessions. All right.
What time are those usually?
Yeah, it's going to be the same time every week. The morning is at 9 a.m. Eastern and the evening is at 6 p.m. Eastern. Be every Wednesday. Okay. Thursday, guys, I am going to be having a conversation with my financial advisor. Somebody that honestly, there's not very many professional people that I trust more than Ben Randall. He's my financial advisor. He makes sure that my retirement's on track, that my investments are kicking butt. And this is honestly something that a lot of entrepreneurs, creative entrepreneurs especially, don't ever think about. And then they get to the point where they're 45, 50 years old and they're like, crap, I got no money for retirement. Something to think about early on. So I've brought him into the club and we're going to have a conversation. I believe that is on Thursday or Friday. I don't know. Look at the schedule. I put it up. Cool.
So you have a good way of giving us like kind of interesting stories that tie to methods that make it easier for us to connect to things. So I would still really love to see the Civil War Abe Lincoln video if you could post that in the Facebook group.
Just go to YouTube and type in Civil War telegraph.
Okay, perfect.
And it was on the History Channel a while back is the link that I found, and it talks about that. Cool. All right, guys, sorry about the technical difficulties, but awesome training, and we will be back tomorrow for accountability. We'll see you guys then.
Ooh, thanks again, David.
Of course.
Appreciate
Thank you,
y'all.
David.
Thank you,
Thank
David.
you, David.
You're welcome.